When it comes to nozzle wear, it depends on the mine site itself, because it factors in the quality of water they're using and also the hardness of water. So generally, what I usually say with the customers, if you're running it 24/7, you should be replacing nozzles at least every 3 or 4 months. So, and it depends on what the application is. If it's, as I said, with the dirtier water, it's going to definitely wear the nozzles quicker. So you should basically look at your nozzles and inspect them, and by that inspection, you should replace them. So.
We supply more than just nozzles. We do supply strainers. We've got to filter the nozzles, which actually protect the nozzles. We supply spray bars, standard spray bars, but then we also supply spray bars with brush headers in there. For some customers, there are hard to reach places with nozzles, so brush headers, they have wheels which have brushes inside, and you can actually clean the nozzle so it'll unblock them. But also spray guns, and and we got automated systems as well.
We certainly supply more than nozzles. Nozzles are our base core project, but we also supply anything from a nozzle to a spray bar to a valve assembly to the control system. So basically we can give you either just a nozzle, or we can do a complete solution for you with the engineering design.
The problem can arise from a number of situations with nozzles as to why they block or why they're partially blocked. First of all, the first place you look is at the quality of the water. If the quality of the water that you're feeding to the nozzles is contaminated, or it's processed water, you may need to look at filtration. Beyond that, if filtration is already being done to the best you can do, then the next step is to look at the type of nozzle and the maximum free passages through the nozzle. And again, spraying systems have a complete range. Okay, the types of nozzles we use in the mining industry, and specifically a whirljet nozzle, is one of the most common types used in the mining industry for dust suppression. The reason it is used is because the maximum free passage through a whirljet is much larger than any other type of nozzle on the market. So we use that design frequently with dust suppression. Plus also the nozzle itself produces a relatively fine drop, which is ideal for dust suppression. Whirljet nozzles are the most common types of nozzles used in the mining industry for two main reasons. One is that they have a very large maximum through passage through the nozzle, which overcomes the problem which is very typical in the mining industry of blockage. Because often on mine sites they have used processed water, so the water's not always the cleanest. So we use a whirljet nozzle because it has a much larger maximum free passage than any other nozzle. The other reason we use a whirljet is because they have a relatively fine drop size, which is ideal for applications such as dust suppression.
The beauty about the whirljet is it's hollow cone, where it'll trap the dust within the hollow part of the pattern, where you won't get any mud. And as soon as dust particles try to escape that hollow cone, it'll be hit by the perimeter of it and it'll drop straight down. So that's the beauty about whirljets. Whirljets are actually almost a popular nozzle in mines. V-jets are great for adding moisture to conveyors that actually prevent dust from being airborne further down the line. So they play an important part and actually don't provide or don't supply the nozzle at the end to do all the work. So dust prevention is just as important as dust suppression.
Well, the V-jet's a fairly standard nozzle, but it's a flat spray pattern. Comes in brass or stainless. It's typically used for applications where you need to wet product, the coal on top of a conveyor or underneath the conveyor. Full jet is a full cone, round full cone spray. It has various orifice sizes, probably not the best nozzle to use if you've got dirty water, but again it's more of a wetting application.
The full jet, this produces a full cone nozzle spray. Generally you'll use it more as a dust prevention alternative, so you're basically going to cover everything in the range of that spray, which is usually around an average about 60 degrees. Hydraulic nozzles, these are finer nozzles. They're used for lower pressure. Generally in the mining industry we don't use them because of the small orifice size they have. They block quite easy, so unless you've got very, very clean water, usually you stay away from these, but if you've got low pressure and clean water, they're a very good solution for fine spray droplets.
Fogging nozzles, they're hydraulic atomizers where we don't use air. They're the LNN and M style nozzles, so they're a really fine droplet size used for misting and fogging for dust suppression and control.
Fogging nozzles are a nozzle which exhibit a fine fog, or as we may put it, a fine droplet size for many different applications.
Air atomizing, there are very fine droplets of dust that hydraulic nozzles you just can't use, and with air breaks liquid up. Hence you can get very small droplets, and yeah, so air atomizing is commonly used for many applications. Air atomizing breaks a liquid up that has smaller droplets, which then will suppress the dust that is finer droplet size as well. And that's where we have to use air atomizing, because bigger droplets just won't do it. So we have to, we have to match the dust particle size to the droplet. It's very fine, then air atomizing will do that.
Air atomizing is great for the mining industry. They produce a very fine spray. They use a little amount of water, and because of the air you can get quite a reasonable throw in it, and these are used for areas that have got high moisture content, they don't want to add any more water, and they can control dust very well.
Okay, on most mine sites, yes, they use processed water, and that can be a problem. So filtration is your first port of call in solving that problem. Spraying systems has a wide range of inline filters that can assist with that problem. If filtration doesn't solve the problem completely, then we need to look at the type of nozzle we're using to see if we can use something with a larger maximum free passage through the nozzle. And often that will point us to a nozzle like a Whirljet nozzle.
The guys on site do have to check them occasionally. But we do supply a service to go there and do audits, and but also to clean nozzles, filters that attach to them.
The best way to maintain the integrity of nozzles is to physically check the spray angles and the spray condition coming from the nozzle, because there is a lot of wear in spray nozzles that occurs.
To make sure that our spray nozzles are keeping up to their peak performance, it's ideal for us to get spraying systems to come and do a spray audit. That way we can come in visually and analyse what spray setups you've got to see if they're actually worn or need replacing or need a different nozzle type. So we provide this as a free service. We go out, evaluate the site, then we provide you with a written report outlining what changes need to be done and which nozzles to replace.
To visit sites, I'm available anytime customers need me to. I can hop on a plane the next day and travel in the middle of South Australia, as I normally do. So that's not an issue. It's not on a planned route where customers have to wait 2, 3, 4 weeks. I can pretty much go the following day or the following week whenever they want.
I'm available whenever required for site visits to inspect or advise on spray nozzles.